Hi YouTubers, thanks for tuning in. Do you or anybody else you know have one of these? It's a Boomtrike 500, and if it's running or not, we'd be interested in buying it. Drop a comment below. Thanks for watching. Okay, so I can't describe everything I've done. If you're attempting this task to remove this, I'm going to call it the differential, from the Piaggio 500, then you'll be competent enough to remove nuts and bolts and find out what has to be removed. Ultimately, you need to be down to this position here. You've got to remove the rear trail arm, 2 bolts on there with bushings, obviously the suspension. That allows you to remove the wheel from that end of the drive shaft. Otherwise, you're not going to get this off. So that's one thing. You've got to get to a point where you can remove all that. You remove all the, the top box bracket, number plate bracket, lights, all that kind of stuff. Simple plug and play electrics and bolts. They will be rusted on. You will get them snap. That's inevitable. You're going to replace them. So you've got to do what you've got to do. There's another support bracket that comes down here, mounted on by 2 bolts there and there. Again, they're on tight. The bolts that hold the exhaust in will be seized, etc. So yeah, looking at this now, you can see exactly where you need to be to get this off. Once you're in that position, you've got various bolts that hold this to a bracket. So you've got one there, one down there. So these bolts are here. Again, they're on super tight. I heated these up first, and then used my wrench bar to basically get them off. Now you've got another 2 bolts here. The bottom one there holds the bracket on for the cable and stuff that comes in to actually activate the reverse lever. So that's a little bit tricky to get to. It was an Allen key on mine, if that was original. So yeah, so that's it really. You've got your 2 bolts there, your 2 bolts there. Then on the other side, at the back here, underneath, you've got there was a bolt there, but that was missing on this one, so I'm not convinced somebody's had this off before, but there was a bolt missing off there, so you may have one there. There is one here, 10mm, that needs to come out, and that is it for this side. 2 bolts this side on that metal bracket there. Now you've still got the drive shaft on here. That will be prising away as we take the transmission out, so that'll be fine. The only reason I haven't took this one out yet is I can't get it off. I've tried to lever this off. I'm guessing it's just got a spring clip inside, just like all drive shafts, and this will pop off, but I haven't been able to manage to do that. I did take this rubber boot off to see if you take the actual UJ ball bearings out, and they might have been bolted on inside, but again, I couldn't get that off. So but yeah, I am happy that will push off. So when I get this off, I'll get it upside down. I'll pour loads of WD-40 in here, just let it soak in, just to give it some lubrication, and I'm quite sure that will then pop off and be fine. So that's the position we're in now. Again, I'll hold it there, I'll restart the video and put it in the stand, and then hopefully we'll get this differential off. Dilly dilly. Okay, there was one part I did fail to mention. Also, you've got let's zoom in, you've got a nut on here as well. It's a 21mm. So I had a ring socket, an offset ring socket in there, and then locked it out with that 10mm nut. Otherwise, you're going to turn the differential. So lock that out, and then undo on the 21mm securing nut. Withdraw that, and then that'll allow that then to push out, because it's part of the differential. Right then, here we go. See if we can get this differential off. Now I had already slightly loosened this, so right, I think what is holding that on is the drive shaft still. Yeah, the drive shaft hasn't disengaged, so I'm going to have to try and pop that drive shaft off. Hopefully it should just pull off now. Obviously you can use lever bars and stuff just to break it off gently. there we go, one differential. Now hopefully we'll get this sent away and repaired, so you can see where that nut goes on the end, 10mm on the end, and then you've got a 21mm on there. Yeah, we can see there that the drive shafts do have just a split ring on, so again they should just pop off. This one popped off really easily on this side. This side's been a mess, so as I say, I'm just going to tip it upside down, pour some WD-40 and spray it in, and then hopefully that'll prise that off from there. I'll just put a new securing clip round for the rubber boot where I took off. Yeah, while I'm in here now, you'll see lots of washers, shims, because when you put this back on, we're going to have to make sure everything's shimmed up, so there's no gaps, everything's nice and tight and even when we put the differential back on. So I'll just work that out when I put it back on and start tightening everything up, and just use these shims to find out where they went. It'll be easy to work out, not too difficult, that one. Yeah, we've got the oil filter there, so again I've got one on order. I'm going to replace the oil filter. It's a high flow 184 is the oil filter needed for this. I'll confirm that when I take it off, but I'm quite sure it's a 184. Right, right, get cracking on. Dilly. Okay, just on draining the oil, I've took the old oil filter off. Bit of a mare to get that off, to be honest, but hasn't been took off for a while. The oil's draining out there. The oil wasn't too bad actually. Yeah, it's black, but you know, it seemed okay, so it has been changed obviously at some point. The bike itself has only done about 25,000 miles, I think, so it probably will have had a couple of oil changes before it was laid up. So that's draining off nicely there. Here's the drain cap. Yeah, drain cap. There is an O-ring seal on there, so make sure you capture that if you're going to reuse it. The oil filter here was a HF184, as I suspected before. Bit worse for wear. Yeah, so there we go, that'll get changed. So my next thing is check the air filter, which is on there, and then I've got to get this cover off to see the belt. And again, I'm going to look at replacing the drive belt. We're never going to know when this was changed. I believe it should be done every 10,000 mile. As I say, the bike's done 25, so hopefully it has been done at least once. The engine does move slightly. I'm hoping it's enough, because I've got to get the cover past this framework. If not, then I've either got to try and take the exhaust off, which will give us more movement, because that's what's restricting any more upward movement there. Or I don't know. The only other option really is to take the frame off, which is a huge job. And if that's the case, I'd probably leave it till the winter, because this will at some point get fully stripped down, sandblasted, powder coated and rebuilt back up. So I may leave the drive belt for that time if I can't get it off this time, but we'll see. Dilly. Right, so we've got the main plastic cover off. You see there the variator. Behind there we'll have the torque converter. There'll be a belt, basically gives drive to the torque converter, given basically CVT, so constant variable drive, if you like. Air filter box is off. The actual foam sits behind here, which is here, which has never been changed for a long time, so it's all just a wee flaky crap. Yeah, so definitely needs a new filter or sponge, whatever it is. Right, I'll continue to take this off now, and then we'll see the rest of it. We do need some special tools, which I haven't got, so I'll see if I can get them ordered, or it may just be the case I take the torque converter off if I can, take that to a shop and they can check the torque converter, etc. Don't know if there's any service parts, could just be shoes and stuff, but we'll see. Right, get this cover off, see what we're faced with. Dilly. Okay, so to get this off, I'm getting all the bolts off underneath. I've got one there to get off, that one and that one, so 3, but you can see in here they are fairly corroded. They're either going to snap or they're going to come out, one of the two, but either way they've got to come off. So it's, yeah, leading me to believe that this belt possibly hasn't been changed, because if it had been done as per the service schedule, if the bike's done 25,000, this should have been done about 5,000 miles ago. Now, appreciate it has been stood. The last time it was on the road was 2021, but still, I wouldn't have expected to see that much corrosion. We'll see. Right, get some heat on this WD-40 and then let's see if we can crack them off. Dilly dilly.